Oh, there it goes. It's a ghost. Hi everyone, welcome back to Pine Hollow Auto Diagnostics. Behind me is the 1996 Geo Prizm, very reliable vehicle. But recently the owner had a complaint. Well, he calls me and says, "Hey, my keys are locked in the car. What the heck? I never locked this car." I mean, would you lock that car? I don't think he's worried about someone driving away on it, especially here in State College, and it's a stick shift, so most people these days don't even know what it is. But anyways, his keys are locked in the car, and he lost a spare key, so he managed to get in there and pry the door open and fish the keys out. See, the door got a little deformed, but whatever. So, and then he's like, he unlocked the car, started driving it, and he noticed that it was locking itself. So it wasn't like he bumped the button and accidentally locked it. It was locking itself. It has power locks. It's one of the very few features that it has. And what the heck? So, you try to unlock it. Oh crap, it might have fixed itself. I think it fixed itself, Scotty.
What?
I think your car fixed itself.
Did it?
It's not doing its thing anymore.
You sure? It's definitely not fixed.
Try it.
It's still locked right here.
Well, let's see, unlock it.
You think maybe just being in here out of the moisture?
Well, that button doesn't work anymore. Oh, there it goes. It's a ghost. Is that what it was doing? Amazing. That quieted it down, just with the switch here. So it basically always locks itself. And what, last few days, how many inches of rain? Like 4 inches over the last couple days. And my theory is water got inside the door and is now shorting out one of the switches for the locks. So let's pull up some wiring diagrams and see if we can find what the problem is while it's still wet. Alright, so from BBB Industries, I pulled up a diagram of the power locks. And it's kind of involved. I mean, it has its own power locks module. So this guy right here is the power locks module. You got the power feed right here, ignition power. So ignition power, and right here there's a door jamb switch. And let's keep going further down. Door unlocked signal, door locked signal. So how does this module know what the input is? There's a little switch on the door, and also it has to know when you're locking the car with the key to lock all the doors at the same time. So without power windows, left hand power door lock switch. That's the actual button on the door, on the door panel. Lock and unlock, very simple. And that just grounds one of these wires, and you can see it goes to a ground. Okay, the problem could be here. There could be water in this thing, and it could be just shorting out the lock to ground, and the module is always trying to lock the doors. Next thing on the door module is, let's see, there's battery feed, and then right here is the meat and potatoes. Left hand front lower door lock actuator. So see how many wires this thing has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this includes the actual motor on the driver's side door to lock and unlock. And it also has the actual door key switch lock signal. So when you turn the key to lock, it sends the signal to the module and saying, hey, lock all the doors. And also for unlock. So it's all built into one unit. I don't think it has theft deterrent. And then there's a ground and power door lock motor. So same for the the passenger's front door. You can also lock and unlock all doors with the key. Pretty neat feature. Then the two rear doors just have the motor. You can see all, the one side of the motor is all tied together, goes to the module, door lock relay, and all the other sides of the motor, 1, 2, 3, 4, are tied to the door unlock relay. Okay, so there's the whole schematic. That's it, 2 pages. So what's the theory? We have to focus on the actual signals getting to this module. So first this switch, door lock signal, door unlock signal. That's one possibility. The other possibility is, let's see, pins 11 and 10. The other possibility is that the actual, where the key is, that could have gotten water inside, and it's constantly grounding this door key switch lock signal. Passenger or driver, so there's 3 options. That's pin 12, door lock signal. Okay? And then each door has a separate unlock signal. So what I want to do is, while the car is acting up, pop off the, first we'll start with the driver's door. While it's acting up, unplug the manual switch on the door panel. If it still is acting up, unplug the driver's side actuator. If it's still acting up, then it has to be the passenger side actuator. And then, unlikely but still possible, could be an actual wiring problem in the door jamb or something. That wire is just shorted to ground. So let's get to work before this thing dries up and stops acting up. So just a little demo on the passenger side. Look at that. You unlock, instant lock. So that's interesting. Lock works fine. You can hear all the locks go ka-ching. Then unlock. It does not stay unlocked. It keeps pulling them down. Let's do the same experiment on the driver's door. So there is a reaction when you go to lock. There is some signal. You go to unlock. That's interesting. So it kind of goes up and down. Now with the actual button here on the door, that's lock. But unlock does not do anything. That I find very interesting. Why is there no response to this button? Can we figure out the problem before unplugging everything on this car? See, that time it worked, and now the door locks are going out crazy, up and down, up and down. So, lock, normal. Unlock, it goes nuts. If I hold down the unlock, see right now? No response. Very interesting. But with the key, alright, so there's the data. Let's get this door panel off. Another thing we can do before taking the door panel off is actually go to this control module, and since each pin is its own input, which is very convenient, we can check the voltages on these pins and see, is it the switch grounding this pin 11 or 10, blue and yellow, or blue or white. Now we're worried about lock, so it would be the blue and white. Or is it pin 12, blue and black, going to the driver's side? Or is it finally, it actually would be the same wire, pin 12, so that goes to both driver and passenger side doors. Because I don't want to disturb anything and cause it to, work properly. While the problem is happening, we have to go somewhere non-intrusive and actually check, is this pin being pulled down? Or is this pin being pulled down. So 2 different pins. We could try that if this thing's accessible. Alright, so the door panel's coming off. It's already so the problem's still happening. Let's unplug this switch right here. Okay, it's unplugged. Problem's still happening. So it's not switch A. You can see this door panel got a little wet on the inside. So on the wiring diagram, so you got 3 wires coming in here. Why are there 3 wires? Blue and yellow, blue and white, white and black. Oh yeah. So blue and white, blue and yellow, white and black. Yep, that's our button on the door. So we eliminated this from the circuit. We can even check voltages on here. However, I don't think it's our problem because now none of these at the switch, they can't be grounded unless there's water in the connector, which I mean we can look. I don't see any water intrusion in here. We can still do a voltage check. And next step is to go to the actual actuator, which is in here. And there's definitely water all over. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the problem. Wires come in here. This little wire here. It comes to right in here. There's the wire. Goes down. I think that's the plug. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's all wet. Now before we go too far, let's just do a quick voltage measurement on here. Make sure these pins are not grounded. Alright, so we're using the Veris scope. Why? Because a graphing meter, when the problem is intermittent and you want to see what your voltage is over time, that's the way to go. Graphing or a regular multimeter would also work, but we want to see if anything, if it starts going up and down, what's going on with those signals over time. So anyways, I just have 2 channels. The ground is on the middle pin, the white and the black. And then channel 1, the yellow lead, is on the blue and white. That is our lock pin, blue and white. And the second channel is on the blue and yellow. That's the unlock. That's the guy on the right. What do we see? Channel 1 right now is at battery voltage. You can see the values here, 11.6. The green channel is at 4.5. That's weird. I don't expect that. That's not a good voltage. It's somewhere in the middle. So we might have a problem with the actual, let's see, lock and unlock. So this is the unlock. Let's activate these locks. I'm just going to pull up on this pin and see what happens. Nothing happens. Let's try the key. Awesome. Stop it. Zoom out. What happened here? We want to focus in on this guy right here. So yellow is lock, green is unlock. The yellow got pulled down like 10 volts. Not really worried about that. But the green, look at that. It started out at 5. It went down to 2. Then went up to 10. Went back down to 5. Let's see here. Now it's back down to 4. Weird. So let's save this little capture. That's a known broken system, and see if these wires are tied to the ones that go to the actuator. We can unplug the actuator and see these voltages change, and what happens from there. I also want to see if we plug in our lock actuator, what happens. We plug that guy in. Now we're pushing. Let's see. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Unlock. So that green trace. I'm holding the lock button down. Obviously it's grounded. And it comes up. Holding that down. It comes up. So pause it there. What the heck is going on right here? See, systems like this that are all tied together, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky. When I push the lock down, the unlock goes up for a second. It should be up here all the time. That's what I don't like. So it's really the unlock circuit that we're concerned about. Now, these wires are different from the ones that go to our actual, the actuator, door key switch. But they must be tied internally. I mean, this thing isn't that smart. It should be a common wire in there. So I'm still going to try to take this off and see what happens while we monitor our signals. Completely disconnected. Inside the connector itself, all we see is dielectric grease. And now, this should have absolutely no tie-in to the door lock system. Let's try again. Oh, there goes my lead. Oh, we need good data. Get it back in there. Alright, so lock, unlock. See how the green's coming up real slow? 4.9. Let's unlock. Lock. It does not like that. So unlock does not work right now. It does nothing. Lock. Lock is good. Unlock does nothing. I really don't like that unlock circuit. So it looks like the problem is not in this actuator. It could be in the other door, for sure. Alright, so here's where we are right now on the lock switch. I'm going to plug the driver's side back in, see what happens. Oh, come on. You can do it. Nothing happens. Absolutely nothing at all. And it still does the same damn thing. Really messes it up, huh? Stop it. Okay, calm down. Now this is at 3.7. Let's go to the passenger side door. Alright, so I got the passenger door off. Let's see what happens when we so unlock works fine. Lock does not. Very interesting. So lock does nothing. Unlock. Interesting. So that green trace, I don't like the green trace. Let's unplug this guy. Okay. No change again at all. Oh, that blows my mind. No change at all. Do a little wiggle test on the harness. See, this door seems to be in better shape. I don't see any water intrusion. There's still dielectric grease on here. That did not change. Very interesting. What the heck is going on? This guy down here. Reverse out. That's unplugged. This is still happening. Okay. I'm going to unplug. That's unplugged. Everything's unplugged except for this guy. Let's unplug this guy. Now we're here. That's insane. So we unplugged all the components. All the components, the switches, the actuators are unplugged. This thing's still going nuts. And the green trace I still do not like. Let's play around with the door jamb switch. That's not doing anything. That goes in there. That goes in here. There's a wire running along the bottom of the door. Just keep looking at my traces here. That doesn't seem to be affecting anything. Alright, so we're still in the same boat. Still the same problem. Just for kicks, let me try a known good ground in the DLC. Yeah, we're still at 11.4 and 4.4. And these guys. So I think we have to now go to the power door locks module, because so what we're getting right here on the first page on that switch, we're supposed to have 12 volts on both wires until we ground one of them. Right now, channel 2, the green trace, is on the blue and yellow. And the blue and yellow is our unlock wire. We only have 4.3 volts on there. That's messed up. So I think now we have enough evidence to go to now blue and yellow. Where else does that go? Where does that go? Not used, without power windows, with power windows. Wonder where this is terminated. Right hand power door lock switch connector. There's a pass through and then it's boom. Just that's it. It's terminated. There's no button on the driver's or the passenger side door. Right hand power door lock switch connector. If we can find this guy, maybe water bridged the gap there and it's partially pulling the blue and yellow down. That's a possibility. Right in here, that's a possibility. Or we have to go to the door lock module. So let's see if there is a connector somewhere that's not used. That guy. Oh yeah, there. Perfect. What the hell, Toyota? Who leaves a connector? We got green crusties here for sure. So the blue and yellow, I'm saying, is grounding out to neighboring pin. You can see the green crusties on there. That's ridiculous. They just have an unused connector here. You could have had a button on the passenger door. They were too cheap to put one in and too cheap to wrap this thing up. It's on the freaking, wet side of the door. It's not even on this side of the plastic. That really blows my mind. So let's monitor this voltage here. We're still at 4.2 on the green trace. Let's mess with this connector over here. You can even measure the voltage on this side and the blue and yellow, right? Blue and yellow. Can the green crusties bridge over to that ground wire? I think it's a possibility. So before we lose the actual problem and spray this thing with deoxit or something, let's poke around here and see if we can catch the fix on the scope. So blue and yellow, that's the wire that we were worried about. So now I got channel 2 connected to this door, passenger side. We're still at 4.1 volts. So what can we do to mess around with this thing? I mean, these wires are not used at all. Can we just cut them and wrap them up? So we want to prove that this is the problem. And how exactly, what's the best way to prove this? Well, clean it up. Clean this up and see if the voltage returns to 12 volts. So is it being grounded right now? The only way to really prove that is, snip the wire and see if the current's going this way. It's the only way I can think of to do it, really. I mean, I kind of got excited, but maybe this isn't the problem. We're going to snip the wire and nothing's going to happen.